Good evening. The Concord Township Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for September 2018 is now in session. I would like to introduce my board. To my far left is Skip Sweeney and Jim Rowe. I'm BZAMtg9-12-2018. To my right is Chris Jarrell and Blair Hamilton. To my far right is Heather Freeman, our zoning inspector. This evening, under the advice of our legal counsel, we ask that anyone speaking tonight must be sworn in. So if you please plan on speaking, stand up so you can be sworn in. And raise your right hand. Better just to get sworn in. Okay.
Your other right.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the whole truth, nothing but the truth? So help me God. If so, say I do. Thank you. Please be seated. This evening, when presenting your case or commenting, be sure to come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Heather, were the legal notices published in a timely manner?
Yes, they were.
Okay, thank you.
Also affirm that you were sworn in.
Yeah, and confirm that you were sworn in. Thanks, Jim. All right, tonight we have 4 appeals and 1 conditional use permit approval. A 3-vote majority is required to either approve or deny your appeal. If a request is denied, you have the right to file an appeal, and Heather can help you with that. So, first on our agenda is variance number 2018-35. Ms. Jessica Ruff, on behalf of the property owner USA Management, is requesting a variance from section 30.05A to allow for an additional freestanding sign for the property located at 9875 Johnny Cake Ridge Road, and being permanent parcel number 10-A-028-D-00-00-001-0. Ms. Ruff, please come on up.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good.
Good. Jessica Ruff, 295 West Prospect Street, Painesville, Ohio, 44077.
And you've been sworn in?
Yes.
Thank you. You can go ahead and present.
Okay. We are proposing to install a secondary monument sign located in front of Holly's Herring. It will be matching the building. I don't know if you have the specs in front of you, but it will be the same colors as the building, as Holly's Herring. It will be internally illuminated with LED. The second sign that's on the property is to the left of Holly's Herring, if you're headed south on Johnny Cake there. And it's about, I think, roughly 100 feet away from the new proposed sign. The purpose of this sign is just to direct traffic better in that plaza. I don't know if you guys have been in the plaza, but it's just to, get people to where they need to go, in a timely and efficient manner. So if there's any questions?
The sign's gonna go, I think if I pull your sketch, it goes right out front in front of the building.
Correct.
Was there any consideration to just adding to that existing sign instead of putting in another sign?
I feel as if the placement, if we did add it to that existing sign, it's just sometimes people would already pass Holly's Herring. There's a lot going on that signage right now. So we just, we did take that in consideration, but we just feel like this is just a more
Well, you can't,
efficient.
if you pass it, there's many driveways into that place.
Correct. And this is just to, if people are passing, they'll see it even, if they're not going to Holly's Herring, it will just get people familiarized with where it's located.
There's already an existing wall sign on the building already,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know.
Mr. Chairman, there are actually two.
There's 2.
Two.
There's one in the back, yeah.
Front and back.
We have 2 signs on the building, and then we have 2 general signs for the,
And the reason for the sign on the back is because there is no identification on the back. That is why they have 2 signs.
Yeah, 'cause you got 2 front doors, I guess.
Yeah, and then if you're in the back, you wouldn't know, where that's the main entrance back there.
And Holly's has that entire freestanding building.
Correct. They do have the entire freestanding building.
Skip, any questions down there?
I guess, my question is, why do you feel you need the sign?
We feel, well, Holly especially feels she needs a sign just due to traffic in and out of there. That plaza is very confusing. When you see that sign, you'll be like, there's Holly's Herring. You'll pull in, you'll go right behind the building, go into the entrance. There's no driving around. They just need it mainly for directional, getting their, customers into the building there.
I understand that, and I got to tell you, I've driven past that building many times since it was changed.
Yes, correct.
The sign that's on the front of the building proper, I see that thing, it catches my eye the minute I come around the turn or the minute I come up past St. Gabe's. It is, you can't miss it.
It's really close to the road. That's what I'm struggling with. The existing
And
sign.
it does you a good service.
Yeah.
You see it. I don't even, I don't want hearing aids. I don't need, but it catches my eye unlike anything else.
Right. No, I understand that.
Just to give you a little feedback. I don't know.
The majority of their customers are older as well, so just take that in consideration. Just getting, it's true though, getting to places, it's just easier for, her clients there's a certain clientele for her, so,
Okay.
Larry, you got any questions?
Just the same question you had. There's a sign for the complex 100 feet away from where this proposed sign is. And there are many opportunities to enter and exit the complex. Whether you drive past there, you can still make a turn and go back through the parking lot to the facility. I don't see the need.
there are many entrances, and that's, another issue, actually. I know just getting in and out of there, if you're going to Holly's Herring, their building is fairly large, so just getting there is, we're just trying to direct people to get to where they need to go,
Sure.
So,
Okay. Any other questions from the board? No? Okay. Thank you.
okay, no other questions? No?
Is there anyone else speaking for or against this appeal that'd like to come up?
The landlord,
Sure, come on up.
I wasn't sworn in.
All right, raise your right hand, we'll get you sworn in. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God, if so, say I do?
I did.
Okay, great, thank you.
I just wanted to add.
Again, sorry, name and address and confirm that you've been sworn in, even though we just did it.
Sure. Eric Andrews. My address is 8340 Raleigh Place, Concord. And I have been sworn in.
Okay.
Okay. And I just wanted to add that, and just make it clear that the other sign that is in front of the property is kind of more for the shopping center, and it's full. There's nothing else. There's no other signs that could be put on there. So it's not like she could go onto that sign. And this building is it's an out parcel building, kind of like the bank next door. So it is its own building. So her sign would be just for her, just for that specific building.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have that in our packet.
That just shows the sign.
So it's kind of being penalized because it's part of the shopping center as far as signage goes.
It couldn't just go, there's plenty of room under that last sign on that existing sign. It just couldn't go right under Great Expressions?
I don't.
There are 9 tenants listed on that sign. I would contend that an elderly person that's looking for Holly's is going to get more confused and be more dangerous to look at that big sign than a freestanding sign in front of the freestanding building.
And I don't know if you can block the sight line. I don't know if there's ordinances on how low you can go, or I don't know what the sign ordinances are, but, as far as blocking the view for traffic, know, I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
But that's certainly its own building, so that's the whole point of it, kind of like the bank.
Okay. Any questions?
Did the bank have its own sign in front?
I don't know, I don't know if the bank ever did, I'm not sure. It hadn't recently.
I can't remember
I
either.
can't.
was trying to
Yeah, I don't-
remember. Yeah.
I think that there's electric out there, but I'm not sure.
There is a lot of.
There is, so I don't know the answer to that. I have to research it. But
Okay.
it's-
There's electric out where?
Out by
Area where
where the signage is proposed.
In the center of the grass?
I don't know if it's in the center of the grass, but it's out.
You mean like right there?
Somewhere out
Yeah,
there,
there's there's
How did that get there?
It's been
there
there.
to be some point.
Was there a sign there before?
We don't remember. And
do
there
not
may have
recall.
been even before, I don't know when you guys took over the shopping center or.
We've had it for quite a
long?
long time, but I
Okay.
don't recall a sign being there for Bank
Well,
One.
if
It
there's
was Bank
electric there,
One.
there probably was a sign there at some point. I mean, makes sense.
that building was empty for a good long while. As far as jarring your memory, I mean, it was when the bank left.
Moved.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
All right,
But that's the purpose.
all right, thank you. Is there anyone else here either speaking for or against this appeal?
You're leaving.
If there's no further questions, the public hearing for variance number 2018-35 is not closed to the
Jared,
public.
go get them, please. Let them come back.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve variance number.
No, we didn't vote yet.
Okay, thanks for coming back. I figured you would want to see what
Jared
happens.
had said that we were gonna find out tomorrow and it was just a misunderstanding.
All right, no, you get to find out in a little bit.
I'll say so moved.
Yeah, okay, we got a second?
Second.
All right, it's open for discussion on the board. Anybody want to say anything?
I'll just reiterate what I said. There's this, the sign that's there is very busy. It has a lot of the inline tenants in the back. That's who that sign represents. You have a freestanding outlot, and it should have its own sign, in my opinion. And especially for the safety of the folks that need hearing devices. You know, they're gonna be coming from areas that maybe they're not familiar, they're gonna be looking up at this sign, and that's a dangerous curve right there. So I think that they need to have the sign.
Okay. What's your opinion?
I'm going to agree with Skip, that having driven by there, it's very hard to miss.
It's like a magnet
You'd have to
to
have
your
your eyes
eyes.
closed to miss it. So,
Oh,
we're already
you're
at the,
young guys.
We're already at the max,
Well,
we're at the maximum number of
Look what I'm
signs.
wearing.
I think in this case, I would tend to go with the zoning.
Voting from the other side, you know, it's easy to find. I mean, I've never had a problem. And
But you know the area.
I sure qualify for the older people that are looking around.
Right. You know the area. I would imagine that the
Still,
people coming for
it's
hearing
more-
aids are probably coming from a wide distance, and maybe they're not familiar with that area.
I don't think it's that difficult. I don't think we need any more signs. If they wanted to do something, a little touch-up on the freestanding signs to incorporate some of that would make sense, but this other I don't think is necessary.
Skip, anything?
Well, I don't know, I mean, you take a look at at the sign for the plaza, it makes my head hurt. When I look, I never look at those signs, even on the new ones up here. I don't know. I don't know that it meets the requirements in addition to that.
What requirements are you?
For a variant?
Referring to?
For a
For-
variance?
Oh, for,
Yeah.
okay. And that's why they're here.
Right.
Okay. I don't have anything to really add to that discussion. I think I can see both sides of it, so. All right, if there's anything else, the question is on approval of variance number 2018-35. A yes vote is for the approval of the variance, a no vote denies it. Heather, please call the vote.
Mr. Hamilton?
No.
Mr. Sweeney?
No.
Mr. Rowe?
No.
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
Mr. Valente?
No. The variance has been denied. Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Okay, next on the docket is variance number 2018-36. Mr. John M. Warmington, on behalf of the property owner Peter Cesar, is requesting a variance from section 17.04B and section 17.07A to allow for the construction of an accessory building with a 19-foot riparian setback in lieu of the 50-foot required for the property located at 7145 Bridlewood Drive. Good evening.
Good evening. Pete Serrar, 7145 Bridlewood Drive in Concord. I have been sworn in.
Great.
The purpose of the variance is I want to reconstruct my sugar house, which is in the back of my property. Had a small fire last serve season and want to rebuild the structure with a cement floor for safety reasons, really. So I'm not here in a couple more years looking for another variance. So all the purpose of it, the location is all the gravity feed for all my lines for maple syrup kind of feed into one general area. And this particular location is kind of the perfect area for the sugar house.
And all that existing piping is already in place,
Correct.
directed to that
Yep.
low spot.
Correct.
So the old house burned down. Was it on the same, is that why the gravel pad is there already?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Before it was a tongue and groove, 3/4 inch, just a wood floor.
Mhm.
So unfortunately on President's Day, the floor burned out, and so I want to rebuild it in that same location.
Was that prior building permitted to be there? Or?
I am not aware of that.
Was that prior building built by somebody else, or was that built by you?
It was built by me, not me personally, but I had
Okay.
someone contracted. Correct.
When was that constructed?
2013 or 12 or 13. It's been a handful of years.
And then I just want to remind the board that Heather and Lake Soil and Water were out on site, looked at it, and Soil and Water Chad provided a letter as well in our packet. So, you had a chance to take a look at that. Because it's already disturbed and was a location, there's little, I guess, riparian impact, would be my interpretation.
That would be mine also, and I'm wondering if it was, in place before the setback was even considered.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely.
that's,
Heather, was the riparian setbacks were in place when we adopt those 20?
The riparian setbacks became effective in July of 2016.
16.
And
So
to
it
answer
would've
the
been
previous
that.
question, the previous sugar house did not have a zoning permit.
Okay, so the previous house was not permitted.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Is it correct to say that it would have, had they asked for a permit prior to the riparian restrictions, it would have met all the other requirements on setbacks and probably would have been
Probably, but I
permitted?
don't know if this one is the same size as what was there originally, so I'd have to take a look at the non-conforming section to specifically to see if whether or not it had been permitted, it could have replaced it. Can you confirm this is the same size as the?
This one will be slightly larger, correct?
4 feet longer, 4 feet longer.
4 feet longer, 4 feet wider.
It's a pretty significant request too. Any other questions from the board?
To answer your
question, the prior building would not have been subject to riparian setback, so if it did exist today, it would exist.
Okay.
No other questions?
Okay. Skip, you're good then? Is there anyone else that's speaking for or against this appeal that'd like to come up? No? Okay, thank you. You can be seated. Since there's no further questions, a public hearing for variance number 2018-36 is now closed to the public. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion to the board on this one. Anyone want to add anything? No? Okay. The question is on approval of variance number 2018-36. A yes vote is for the approval, no vote denies it. Heather, please call the vote.
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes?
Mr. Hamilton?
Yes.
And Mr. Valente?
Yes. Your variance has been approved. Thank you.
So, this is kind of off topic, but the riparian, enforcing the new riparian guidelines, when are we ever going to, something going to be new construction? That sounds like.
We could take that offline
Okay.
after the meeting.
Right.
How about that? Okay. So next is variance number 2018-37. Mr. Richard Hansen and Mrs. Susan Hansen are requesting a variance from section 15.03A, table 15.03-1 to allow for a second accessory building in lieu of the maximum one permitted for the property located at 7685 Morley Road. Hello.
Hi, Richard Hansen, Richard and Susan Hansen, 7685 Morley Road, Concord Township, 44060.
You've been sworn in?
Have been,
You
yes.
too, ma'am. Thank you. Go for it.
But I do have a letter from a neighbor.
Sure, if you want to give it to Blair, he can pass it around right here.
You?
Is this one letter or several?
That's just, he has no problem with us putting a building up.
Okay.
That's our neighbor.
He's like right between where we would have our house and his house, and the building would be in between. It would only affect our,
Okay.
that next door neighbor.
Okay.
So he would theoretically be the most affected neighbor.
Right, he would be the only affected neighbor, actually.
Okay. Heather will include this in the packet for the appeal, the letter, and we'll have a copy for
Do
you.
you mind stating who it's from?
Okay. I will for you. The letter is from Joseph Bozic.
Bozic?
Bozic. He is, let's see, his address is 7229 Ravenna Road.
No, that's
No.
your address.
Oh, that's your address. We don't have his address.
It's up on top.
Oh, he's up top,
771.
7711 Morley Road. Okay, there we go. This is
There we
now
go.
part of the SUMA. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I guess you guys have all got a copy of the diagram here? With the-
Yes.
home, yeah.
Okay, that little red blotch is where we wanted to put the building. What I've got to do is clear that site, and I was told by the people that we buy this from that you can put 6x6s in the ground and set this building right on it, level it.
Our other accessory building is way in the back of the property, and trying to get the snow, we have a wheel horse with a plow in the front, trying to get that from that building out through the snow in the winter is really tough. So
Especially if you're 70, makes it a little tougher.
We've acquired quite a bit of equipment since we've been there, because we used to change the implements, so now we just have the riding lawnmower, then the rototiller with the wheel horse, then the wheel horse with the
Snow
snow
blower.
blower. And we've had so many trees fall and just.
Now I've gotten a stump grinder. I don't know if you guys have ash trees or had ash trees. I had 16 taken out one year, and I got a good price on it, and then he wised up. He was just starting out, so I couldn't call him back. But I've got ash trees dying, and I think it's about $100 a stump to have them ground out. And I started with 16, and now I've got probably 8 or 10 dead standing or are dying standing. And so I bought a stump grinder. But I can't leave all of this stuff out in the winter elements, and I simply
try-
don't have room in that other building.
And try to park in the garage in the winter as well, our cars, so.
And we got a golf cart, because like I say, 70 is a little tough to get around anymore. So, but that's got to be on a trickle charger, so that's got to be in a garage. And then whatever piece of equipment I'm using, I can run an extension cord out to this new building, if it's permitted, and get a trickle charger on that battery, so I've got that up too.
Well, we're just asking for a variance on a secondary building. We have 1.9 acres. I guess the requirement's 2 acres for as many unlimited buildings.
And you don't want to make one big building and get rid of that other one?
You know, that property slopes. I don't know if you're familiar with that area on Morley Road.
Yeah.
That goes down pretty drastically. It would be, it'd be pretty tough. I'm not a carpenter,
Oh,
for one thing.
To level a big building then?
yeah, and if I put it in, on the end of it where the garage door is, now I've got one building, you know, in front of another one. How do I get anything out of the back of it? You know, it's kind of a, between a rock and a hard place.
Okay.
It's an attractive building. I've seen several of those around now that I've, you know, looked at that type of building. So,
Any other questions for them?
No.
Sounds good, okay. I think we're all set, you can be seated.
okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else here that's speaking for or against this appeal that'd like to come up? Okay, if there's no one else, the public hearing for variance number 2018-37 is now closed to the public. Open for discussion on the board. You guys have anything you want to add? I mean, the thing is too, I believe, if we do the math, the two buildings together, still the square footage is
So
less.
only
It's far
about
less.
half.
It's far less.
Like
And I think
huge.
I'll add the fact that, you know, the property is 1.9 acres. We're very close to what the
Not having
requirement
any-
is for additional buildings.
Yeah,
And the neighbor's good.
yes, the neighbor's good, that's always important, we like to hear that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, with that said, is there a motion to approve variance number 2018-37?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. The question is on the, for the approval of variance number 2018-37. A yes vote approves the variance, a no vote denies it. Heather, please call the vote.
Mr. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes?
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
And Mr. Valente?
Yes. Thank you. Your variance has been approved. Next is variance number 2018-38. Mr. Lance Osborne of Crowd Road Partners LLC is requesting a variance from section 29.04B, table 29.04A, minimum off-street parking standards to allow Crowd Crossing Retail Center located at 7639 Crowd Road, 7641, 7645, 7649, 5155, 57, 6973, 77, 68, 85, and 89 to provide, all on Crowd Road to provide 269 parking spaces in lieu of the minimum 282 required. Mr. Osborne, good evening.
Hi, good evening. So I just want to give an update on the project. Lance Osborne,
Address.
7670 Tyler Boulevard, Mentor, Ohio 44060.
And you've been sworn in.
I have not.
Okay, raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God?
I do.
All right, you are now sworn in.
Thank you. So as a brief update on the project, Building 2, as it's numbered, is the one that's currently under construction. It'll be occupied starting from the north section by Subway, Cleveland Yoga, Pet Value has accepted the space and is paying rent, but they may not open the store. So there's some uncertainty as to whether they'll actually open the store. We don't know what they're gonna do, the ball's in their court. And then there's Fitness Together, Pulp, and Elements Massage will be the last tenant in that building across from Burgers to Beer, which then starts the next building.
Okay.
And we're respectfully asking for a 13 parking space variance. I just want to make sure that the board received a letter from our adjoining property owner, Mr. Dulce, on behalf of Lakeland Realty, that in the event that we are at capacity on parking, that they have no use for parking after 4 p.m., and that our leases give us the ability to dictate to the tenants where we can have their employees park. So if parking were to become an issue, we would be able to have the employees park on the adjacent Lakeland Realty property, which is to the east.
Okay.
And I'm happy to address any questions.
If the employees end up having to park there, are you gonna provide pedestrian access? I think it's disconnected and there's just a driveway.
You can go back via the driveway, and there's also, in between the mound and the pond to the north, there's an area where employees could walk through it on the grass.
So there wouldn't be a sidewalk or anything like that?
No, I mean, we could provide one if it would become necessary. We don't think it will be necessary. If it were necessary, we would do that.
That might be a problem in winter weather.
Right. Yeah, no, we can have our snowplow contractor make sure that, because they shovel the sidewalks at the shopping center, so they can also shovel a walkway between the two properties if that were an issue.
I think that would certainly something to address or to do. I mean, it sounds handy that the space is there, but then when you think about dead of winter or whatever, even the employees, we got to park out there. It could be kind of a consideration.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I might pose this question of legal. I mean, if we're saying, I guess if we're saying that they'll use parking in the back, but there isn't a safe, we'll call it safe access from one parking lot to the other. I mean, is that something we should stipulate if we're gonna say that they'll use that as overflow parking, or, because I don't even know if that's a stipulation or they've just suggested that.
Well, if they had a shared parking agreement, it had to be recorded, signed by both parties, and you couldn't issue a zoning permit until they presented that. So even with just the letter, you'd have to have still a signed agreement and have it be recorded so it ran with the land, since the parking restriction is gonna be singular to your parcel.
So the question that I have for Mr. Osborne is that part of this submittal or not? Then is that part of?
You could approve it conditioned on a fully executed parking agreement that is recorded, but the zoning ordinance provides you can't have a permit until that is recorded and signed by both parties.
Okay, do you understand?
I understand. We would just have to have a discussion with Lakeland whether that's
And have an agreement in place
right.
before this is.
I mean, we have an agreement, just not filed on the property.
The letter, you both have to sign it.
Right.
And there would have to be, I'll leave that up to the two of you about how you're gonna get across the parcels, but it would have to be recorded and on a plan.
It's 13 spaces.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, whatever, yeah, we could talk about that.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
less than
I just-
5% of the overall.
No, I know, but you're putting that out there. I just want to make sure that we're covered if we're going to
Sure.
accept that. Skip, do you have any other questions? Okay. All right, I think we don't have any other questions for you.
Okay.
Is there anyone else that's speaking for or against this appeal that'd like to come up? Okay. If that's the case, the public hearing is now closed to the public for variance number 2018-38. discussion on, to the board. And I'll just say I'm with you, where you were alluding to, Chris. I don't really care that much about the parking in the back at this point. I think it's 13 spaces. I don't know if they'll have a parking problem until it's all up and going. But my opinion is, it seems like there's a varied mix of uses with different peak times
Right.
in the shopping development.
Good point.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well put.
It's not that far off. I mean, like you say, 4% or 4.5%. And how often that gets hit, you know,
Yeah.
over the years. And I think I wouldn't be scared of approving the situation. The likelihood of, you can say, I got 269 people here and one car I can't park.
Okay.
Not to be flip, but I was flip.
Anything else right now?
I don't really have anything to add. I mean, with a development like this and the ongoing, you don't know who the tenant's gonna be, and requirements change as things go forward. This is a very small variance.
Okay. Then I'll ask for a motion to approve the variance number 2018-38.
So moved.
Second.
All right, you got a second? Approval, the question is on approval of variance number 2018-38. A yes vote approves it, a no vote denies it. Heather, please call the vote.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes?
Mr. Hamilton?
Yes.
And Mr. Valenti?
Yes. Thank you. All right, the last thing on our agenda is a conditional use permit, 2018-11. Ms. Ashley Ranson of Concord Pulp LLC is requesting a conditional use permit in accordance with section 13.20 to operate a counter service restaurant, pulp juice and smoothie bar at 7655 Crown Road, being permanent parcel number 08-A-19-019-0-00-025-0. Good evening.
Hi,
Hi.
how are you? I'm Ashley Ransom, 1011 Pelton Court, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113.
You've been sworn in?
Yes, I have.
Thank you. Go ahead and present your case.
So I'm just requesting a conditional use permit to operate the Pulp Smoothie and Juice Bar at 7655 Crowell Road. We'll be open 7 days a week, probably 6:30 to 9 p.m. every day of the week, potentially changing those hours on the weekends depending on service, so we might open a little later on the weekends. 80% of our menu is smoothies and fresh juice. We also serve wraps and a few bowls and salads. It's a take and go place. We'll have a few dining spots in there, but majority of our customers will take and go. I don't know, what questions do you have?
Well, the burning question will be, will the employees mind parking in the back?
Yeah. Well, this is the first I'm learning about that. Yeah, we'll see. I would assume so, as long as it's safe and close enough. We'll have probably during our operating hours, and it would be seasonal, we'll have part-time employees, probably 2 to 3 people at a time, including myself.
Okay. Skip, anything? More?
Nothing.
Quiet this evening. All right.
Ashley, what are the maximum amount of hours you want them to vote on?
What's that?
What are the maximum range of hours you want them to vote on? Because if you change them after they approve it tonight, you have to come back.
Oh,
So aim high.
I would say what's that?
Maybe aim higher.
24 hours a day.
No, I would say for now it's going to be 6:30 to 9 operating hours. So that would be 7 days a
AM to
week.
PM?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you. You be seated. Is there anyone else here that's speaking for or against this appeal that'd like to come up? Okay. I will then entertain a motion for the conditional use permit 2018-11.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Any discussion from the board needed for this one? Okay, the question is for the approval of conditional use permit 2018-11. Yes vote approves the conditional use permit, and no vote denies it. Heather, please call the vote.
Mr. Hamilton?
Yes.
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Mr. Valenti?
Yes. Conditional use permit has been approved. Thank you. All right, last thing on the agenda is approval of minutes. I'd like to call for a motion to approve the minutes from July 2018.
So moved.
Second. Claire, I think you're the only one. Any additions, deletions, modifications to the minutes from July?
Just one correction, just to prove I read it. But it was in there, page 3, line 30. I think the spelling we were looking for is B-A-R-E instead of B-E-A-R.
Okay, so noted.
End of study.
So the question, so then the question is for the approval of the minutes as modified by Mr. Rowe for July 2018. A yes vote approves the minutes, of no vote does not. All in favor of the minutes as noted by Mr. Rowe, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes have been approved from July 2018. Our meeting for September 2018 is now closed.
Thank you.
Thanks.